Welcome to Thailand, a country that's rich in ancient history, culture, and of course, wildlife. I'm here to show you some of the amazing threatened species Thailand has to offer, and also show you the struggles they face in day-to-day life and how we can help them. This is For the Wild with JJ Emerson. My first stop is the city of Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, the second largest in the country. I've come here to see a creature highly revered in Thai culture, one of the biggest animals walking the planet, the majestic and powerful Asian elephant. Elephant symbolism is everywhere here in Thailand, on the temples, the street signs, buildings, even the local beer. It is apparent that the Thai people have a long-standing relationship with elephants, which is exactly what I'm here to see. Elephants are key to the tourism industry in Thailand. When logging became illegal in 1989, hundreds of elephants went out of work. In turn, the elephant owners and carers, known as mahouts, started to offer tourists elephant rides and other close contact experiences. Many started teaching their elephants how to dance, perform, paint, and even play musical instruments. This was the easiest way that the mahouts could make enough money to provide for themselves, their families, and their elephants. But unfortunately, during many of these activities, the well-being of the elephant is compromised. Straight off the plane, I'm off to an elephant camp that I've just been advised had a baby born. This camp in particular was highly recommended as an ethical and full contact option with the elephants, so I've decided to take part in the program and see how they're treated myself.
What are you doing? Being cute, that's what he's doing. I don't think I was this rambunctious at 2 weeks old.
Right now the baby only
He's just playing. When they're this age, they've got very little control of their trunk. It takes a bit of time to master using it and picking things up. It's about the cutest thing I've ever seen. It's fantastic. He keeps going back to mum for a drink as well.
He was just so cute, but there were more elephants to check out, having a bit of a feed nearby. These two are young bulls, around 8 years of age, having a bit of a play fight and a bit of a spar. It is generally only the male Asian elephants that grow large tusks, with female tusks rarely extending beyond the upper lip. These tusks, of course, are what's fueling the illegal ivory trade, a trade that is killing thousands of elephants every single year, particularly in Africa. The trade in Thailand is fueled by the fact that buying and selling ivory from domestic elephants is perfectly legal. But regardless of where it comes from, if you are ever overseas, never purchase ivory, as you'll be directly contributing to the extinction of elephants worldwide. The The rest of the program included a crash course in elephant husbandry and care, and some one-on-one rapport building with our elephant, followed by a short trek to the waterfall for a bathing session. Although it was amazing to spend such quality time with these animals, something at this camp just seemed a little bit off. I was completely ignorant of these elephants' pasts and histories. Where did they come from? How did they learn to be so accepting of tourists riding on them through the jungle? After doing a little more research, I discovered what could be the dark side of this industry. There was no way of knowing what these elephants had been through in their lives by just spending a few hours with them. But I can only hope they were able to avoid the spirit-crushing ritual that you're about to witness next. The footage you're about to see may be distressing for some viewers, but I believe it is important that it is shared for the well-being of Asia's elephants. Animal welfare laws are essentially non-existent in Thailand. Domestic elephants are treated as livestock and receive the same treatment as domestic cows and pigs, although some might argue that the elephants have it worse. To meet the demand for the tourism industry, many young elephants are forcefully taken from their families in neighbouring countries like Myanmar and are then smuggled over the border. After being poached, these babies are normally put through a process known as pajan, where their spirits are broken by any number of incredibly cruel methods. The elephants are usually forced into a crush cage and tied up, making them completely unable to move or defend themselves. Then they are beat, stabbed, poked, deprived of food and water, and are forced to stay awake by subjecting them to loud noises and bright lights all throughout the night. These breaking methods may occur continuously for over a week or sometimes even longer until the young elephant simply gives up. Many elephants born into captivity in Thailand face the same fate. It leaves them mentally and physically scarred, damaged, and unpredictable. They are then sold into the tourism industry, where they will spend the rest of their lives trekking, performing tricks, or being forcefully bred to appease tourists and the trade. The elephants that I had just seen and touched, had they been through pajan? Would the beautiful little baby be forced through this spirit-crushing process in the near future? I just didn't know, but the lingering thought made me feel sick and guilty. I felt as though this camp was going in the right direction and on the surface was a fair way ahead of others in regards to elephant welfare. But I am confident there are more ethical and eco-friendly ways to view elephants and still involve them in Thailand's tourism industry that maintain a high level of welfare and well-being, but also contribute to their conservation out in the wild. Now I'm off to a place where I know the elephants are treated well. A place where I'll be spending the bulk of my elephant journey. A few hours drive away is a sanctuary that has pioneered a new era of elephant tourism in Thailand. I've arrived at the Elephant Nature Park just north of Chiang Mai, a place I've wanted to visit for years. The park was founded by Lek Chile, an incredible woman who has given her whole life to protecting the Asian elephant. Elephant Nature Park has around 30 elephants in total, and these elephants are split off to create several small naturalistic herds. This is a place where they can live out their lives naturally, just as elephants are supposed to do, with the mahouts using positive reinforcement rather than physical violence to motivate the elephants when necessary. Even then, the mahouts follow the elephants around where they want to go on a day-to-day basis, rather than the other way around. Elephant Nature Park features a flowing river, open fields, natural rainforests, mud wallows, and so much more. It really seems to be an elephant's paradise. There are so few rules and restrictions placed on the elephants, which is absolutely fantastic. Elephant Nature Park has a no riding policy and limited physical contact with the elephants. This is just fine and it doesn't appear to deter visitor numbers. The park runs a very successful volunteer program in which volunteers can come and help out around the park for anywhere up to 2 weeks at a time. Visitor safety is of high priority and there is no unsupervised interactions with the elephants. Daily duties for volunteers include food preparation, general maintenance, feeding, reforestation and bathing. The elephants seem to thoroughly enjoy their daily bathing sessions, and who can blame them? I for one don't get to eat goodies while having a tub.
So this here is one reason that elephants are so important to the ecosystem. Here the elephants get a lot of watermelon and pumpkin, and these are actually sprouting pumpkin seeds growing in the elephant dung. So in the wild, when they're wandering around pooing everywhere, pooing about 100 kilos of feces a day or more, they're redeveloping the forest. The seeds they eat from the plants, droppings, the elephant dung, poo, whatever you want to call it, it's full of nutrients, and these grow up into new rainforests. It's really cool.
That's about as cool as poo gets, I reckon. Many of these elephants have very troubled pasts and can therefore be unpredictable. But I soon learnt that by simply watching these elephants from a distance, socialising, playing, communicating, it was so much more rewarding and educational than rides, shows or tricks. It has given them a chance to reclaim their natural instincts and live a peaceful and pain-free life. Most of the elephants at Elephant Nature Park are old victims of the illegal logging trade, street begging, landmines, and many other horrific injuries. One such elephant, and my absolute favourite, is May Doe.
So the elephant grazing over the river behind me, her name is May Doe. They think she's about 35 or 40 years old. Now, she's one of many elephants that have come to Elephant Nature Park with an injury, often a permanent injury, irreparable injury. Her story was she was a part of the illegal logging trade when she was very young and actually hurt one of her legs quite badly. After that, she was put in a forced breeding situation where she probably would have been chained up. A bull, also chained up, would have mounted her. She wouldn't have been able to get away, and with the struggle and the stress of all that, she actually dislocated one of her hips, which is now a permanent injury that she carries around with her. The good thing is though, it doesn't stop her. She goes and has a bath in the river every single day. She hangs her out with her two other buddies, the elephants over there, and she's a real trooper. She gets through it all. She's a really cool elephant.
Elephants are social animals living in matriarchal groups. They rely on each other and they support each other. The natural creation of these herd structures at Elephant Nature Park goes to show how essential this social structure is. May Doe and her best buddy May Lana were rescued in 2006 and 2007 respectively, and since then have been absolutely inseparable. There's a small school just a few kilometres down the road, and we've gone to have a visit. All the kids are so excited to show us their games and crafts, and I even found a bit of time to play some music. My go. Maybe I'll be better at the drums. Not quite the type of instruments I'm used to. Maybe I'll be a little bit better at volleyball. The elephants aren't the only big grey animals roaming around the park. These guys are Asian water buffalo, a few females in their calves and a big old bull out the back. These buffalo can be easily startled, so I'm making sure I keep a bit of a distance. Unfortunately, buffalo are causing their fair share of damage in northern Australia, an area where they were originally introduced for their meat. They have since been released and their population has flourished. They are designated as a feral pest and influence the local ecosystems through erosion and also compete with native species for food. Water buffalo are domesticated here in Thailand, however there are several wild populations too. The rare wild water buffalo is highly endangered, with a population of less than 4,000 individuals. The park is also home to hundreds of domestic dogs and cats. Originally people's pets, many of these animals have been displaced for aggression, expenses, and through monsoonal floods that hit Thailand nearly every single year. Having personally worked in animal shelters before, I'm absolutely amazed at how well all these animals are getting along. They all appear in good health and most of them have absolutely lovely natures. I personally feel this is because they aren't spoilt and treated like little children like many of the other dogs and cats I've met over the years. Most of the animals are in great condition and receive regular vet checks. Ticks can be a big problem for domestic animals, especially out here in the bush, so I was more than happy to do my part and remove these pesky parasites. Volunteers can choose to look after these domestic animals as well as the elephants, and I often found myself within a few metres of dogs, cats and elephants all at one time. I've been given permission to go on a walk amongst the elephants, supervised of course. A great opportunity to observe them up nice and close. This elephant's name is Jokia, and she is completely blind. She uses her amazing sense of touch to get around and is often guided by other members of her herd. An absolutely amazing relationship. We get a brief reminder of the strength of these animals, and they are definitely still wild. A wooden fence stands no chance against an angry mama elephant. The total population of wild Asian elephants in Thailand is thought to be around 1,500 individuals. This is less than half of the domestic population of around 3,500. These numbers are both alarmingly small. One of the leading causes of human-elephant conflict is habitat loss. This is pressuring elephants into areas where humans have settled, and often the elephants will raid crops in order to find food that is no longer available in their rainforest home. The results of these raids can be disastrous for the elephants, with many being poisoned or shot dead as a result. Some farmers resort to more elephant-friendly methods, including using loud fireworks to deter the elephants from eating their crops. Asian elephants also face an issue known as habitat fragmentation, where small populations are isolated from each other due to habitat loss. This limits the potential number of breeding partners and the gene flow between populations, and drastically limits the species' genetic diversity. Illegal hunting of elephants for their meat and their tusks does occur throughout some parts of Asia, although this issue is more prominent in Africa. Again, if you ever see elephant ivory products in your travels, do not buy them. Report the sellers to the appropriate authorities so that this illegal and immoral trade can stop. Perhaps one of the biggest ways that we can support both welfare and conservation of elephants is by supporting places like the Elephant Nature Park. The tourism industry in Thailand revolves so heavily around elephants. However, if we can make an educated decision on how and where we view these amazing creatures, then perhaps we can eliminate the demand to steal the babies from the wild, tear them away from their families, and force them through the spirit-crushing pajam. Unfortunately, this is the harsh reality of what it takes to interact with most elephants in Thailand. I've learnt so much here at Elephant Nature Park just by observing the elephants behaving as they should. It has been 1,000 times more rewarding than riding them, that's for sure. I hope to one day return and observe wild populations of elephants in Thailand and share their majesty and wonder with all of you before it's too late.